Well, I can't believe it's actually time to say that there are going to be live performances at the Straz Center. Joining us this morning once again to give us all the details on what's to come and how they can fall in love with Shakespeare in a funny way. David Jenkins, of course, with Job Site Theater. So good to see you.
See you. Thank you for having me.
We're talking about live performances again.
I know, crazy, right? We're so excited.
So when you go, okay, what should our first live, performance be? You guys tackled the big one, a funny one.
Yeah, it's actually, we've been doing the show for almost 20 years now. It's one of our most popular shows of all time. The complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged, revised. And we decided to bring it back because it's a really easy show for us to do. It's just the three of us. We have like a couple of trunks of props and a couple of racks of costumes, but with just three people and not really much in the way of like a big elaborate set or costumes, it's an easy thing to put up in that outdoor space.
Well, and it's interesting because I feel like there's an element of Shakespeare. It's just good storytelling, right? Like that's what it comes down to. Yeah. So I'd imagine that this is a good kind of introduction to theater again, where we've been craving it.
Absolutely. And not for nothing, the theaters were shut down during Shakespeare's day during a pandemic, and that's where he wrote some of his best known plays. So maybe it's...
No way, I don't think I realized that. Maybe
I actually just put that together in my brain right now as we were thinking that that actually happened.
No way. Oh, that's awesome. Well, explain. And do you, because there's so much that's kind of crammed in here, do you have to know all of Shakespeare's one? I mean, can you kind of get by?
Basically, three doughy, aging white guys that managed to they have this idea to get through all 37 of Shakespeare's plays and 154 sonnets in about 90 minutes. So there's just three of us. We play all of the characters in all of the plays. One of us basically gets stuck with all the wigs playing all the women as we go through, and we have a really good time doing it. Sometimes we mash up a whole bunch of plays into like a single sketch. Sometimes we might sing a play or present something like we do Titus Andronicus as a cooking show, which if you know the story is kind of funny, but you definitely do not need to know the plays. As a matter of fact, at least one of us has never read any of the Shakespeare plays, and it kind of shows.
I love it. Hey, how is this going to work? Because obviously there's a lot being said about kind of the new way that we're going to see these types of shows and kind of what the future looks like. How are you guys starting with it there?
Well, one of the reasons why we chose the outdoor space to begin with is that the Straz Center has this really wonderful Riverwalk stage. So it's open air, and that already is a safer alternative in many ways, and something that many audience members are going to feel more comfortable with doing something outdoors. And even with it being outdoors, we're still observing distance. So there's at least 6 feet between every table. People will not be seated next to strangers. The table is yours. If you want to come and sit by yourself, or if you want to order a table for 4 and bring your pod, it's yours to do whatever you want with, right? So we're selling by the table, not the ticket. And we are distancing. Masks are still mandatory. The Straz Center has put together an enormous health and safety playbook to make sure that all the guests, all of their staff, and all of the performers are safe. So this is our first foray into doing that, and we're really looking forward to getting a live audience back, and hoping that people, we know that there's been some confusion with the governor's statements on Friday, that some people think everything's sort of over, but we are still proceeding according to our health and safety playbook that we had before all this.
All right. Well, good to know. Get your tickets now, because you're saying, you know what, day of, chances are they're probably not going to be available.
Yeah, we really don't think so. Like for this weekend, there's only a few tables left for each of the performances, but we did just add dates. So due to the popular demand, so now we shows between October 2nd and October 17th. So if folks tried to buy tickets last week and couldn't get in, you might want to try today, because we've got more opportunities for people to get in.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm just so happy for you and the team, and for us as the Bay Area, as we slowly kind of get back to what we all know and love. And again, we know it's going to be a little different, but that's okay. So good to see you. We'll put details on our website.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. And there's thestrazcenter.org, where you can get more information as well.